Okay, so I'm going to start sharing my screen, and the first thing I kind of want to run through with regards is, can you see my Instagram legit fit? Yeah, just give me a thumbs up if you can. Excellent, cool. So basically, we use a couple of different products, and I'm going to run through all of them, but just for you to see it as a user and how it looks from a user's perspective. I think it's really easy to understand it then. So we first of all use this product called Linktree, and we share this on most of our posts on social media. We share this on our bios, on our Learn More button on Facebook. It's just essentially a good way to kind of start funneling people. So it's sharing multiple links within the one link. So if I click on here, what it brings up is, it brings up a couple of different options. So, you know, sometime in the future, it was a case of, oh, link is in my bio, and then you have to change your bio every time. Whereas with this, you just know that this is a landing page that you can start separating and funneling people straight away. So it's pretty handy. So like, this is, we find out, this is a way of finding out what people actually want from you, and then getting them to that point where they can either become a customer, refer a friend, or whatever it might be. So there's a lot of opportunities that comes with this product, Linktree. And everything I'm going to be talking about today, there's free versions of all of them, and we use the only one we pay for is MailChimp. And that's just because we've gone above a certain level. So essentially with Linktree, you have all these multiple links where you can do different things. With regards to funneling, what I'm going to be talking about is kind of like how to set up one of these funnels where, for instance, this is something that we're doing for UK early access. So it's basically a form, but a really nice form. I don't know, have you ever come across Typeform? Thumbs up if you've ever come across this, thumbs down if you've never, just so I have an idea. Okay, we have one person, two people have come across it. Okay, excellent. So essentially, it's just a really nice form that you can customize to your own kind of brand and stuff like that. So, and it's very conversational, so it works really well. So with this, essentially, is a method of grabbing as much information as possible to for the person. So again, just looking at our business, we're asking what their name is, what their name of the business is, where are they from, what they want to learn, and again, you can customize all of these to your own what you want to find out, essentially. So let's go ryan@ryan.com, and then we grab a number, whatever it might be there. Okay. Oh, very good validation. And so we'll just go on to Ireland, put that in. Oh, wait. Hope this one works. And then it says, thanks, Ryan. We look forward to hopefully getting set up as one of our first UK customers. They press submit then. Again, it does validation, so it makes sure that you get every piece of information. When they submit that, then we have it set up in our business that we get notified about this. So we get an email notification. We also get a Slack notification, which is something that we use for our team internally, and a couple of different ways where we're notified as a business. So with that, we have a lot of other things that go on as well in the background, that I suppose help with regards getting this customer and converting them and bringing them on board, you know. So if we go through essentially, yeah, so if we go through this here, if you have any questions as well, just make sure to put them in the chat. So with regards what you need, software that's actually needed to kind of create these funnels and create these flows. You've Linktree, number one. That is the sharing multiple links within the one link. So again, just to kind of give you an idea of that with regards our Facebook. Facebook. If we go over to Legit Fit, So again, this learn more button, we have this directing to that link tree, or to, it could be to another funnel page. So this is cutting out one step. We want to direct them straight to a landing page. So this is like like a very quick setup of a landing page on MailChimp, and it's a specific thing. So if you wanted to create a specific offer, or if you didn't have a website and you wanted to create a quick one, that can be done through MailChimp. And again, with regards to this, if they press get callback, they're brought to a different type of form that's set up. And this is a registration of interest, but it's the same type. So it's how do they hear about us? We're grabbing that information. If they're using any software. And again, all of this is super important, because when you're going to be on the phone to that customer, if you ring like John and you know his email and you know his number, that's not like a lot. You're going to waste a lot of time on the call. Whereas if you know like John, what his goals are, what he's looking to, get out of it, what kind of, maybe even what level is he willing to spend, straight away, first of all, are they a qualified lead for you, and is it worth spending your time on that? Or second of all, if you are on the phone to them, how to actually properly sell to them, because there's no point in you running through all your fat loss programs or anything like that when the person is looking to gain weight, or maybe just changing their lifestyle. And so you know exactly how to actually sell to that person. So Linktree, that's the first thing. It's free. There is a paid version. You don't really need it. Typeform, it's free up to 3 forms. So just be careful with regards to the forms that you are going to use with that. Now you can set up several different accounts if you want, and have 3 forms on each account, all directing to the same place. But again, yeah, just make sure the first 3 that you're doing are 3 that you're going to be using. Then we have this thing called Bonjoro. Anyone come across Bonjoro before, whether it was through us or anything? No? No one to come across? Okay, Bonjoro is probably one of my favorite apps out there at the moment. If I don't know, maybe the majority of people haven't got it here, but when you sign up to Legit Fit and you activate a pro account, we get notified, and we get notified just saying, Joey has just signed up to the pro version of Legit Fit, and that prompts us in Bonjoro to send a video, so that we can send a personalized video to Joey. And these personalized video, like they're just the next level of onboarding people and personalization. Some people have these welcome emails where it's like, and we have those as well, where it's like, oh, welcome to Legit Fit. Great to have you on board. Here's a bit about us. Here's a bit about whatever. Do you want to book a call with us? Which is great, okay? But every other business, whether it's fitness, whether it's software, whether it's whatever, is doing that, a welcome email. So what I want to kind of do here is supplement that welcome email with a Bonjoro. And again, this is a free application. So when someone fills out a registration of interest for ye, that you get a notification here saying, John just registered his interest. And you can then look at the data and say, okay, hey, John, just saw that you registered your interest with us. I also saw that you're interested in our 12-week program, and you're looking to kind of lose a bit of weight. Would love to help you. We're running Zoom classes all next week. Click the link below, or hit reply below and get onto us. So it's just a more personal approach individually to the client, which we've seen, like it's worked really well, and people reply to us and they're really happy with it. And it's something that no other business in our space are doing. And I would guarantee that 99% of people in your space aren't doing either. Then we have MailChimp. So anybody using any email marketing tools? Yes, no, thumbs up if yes. Is it MailChimp? If it's not MailChimp, who is it? Just write it into the chat there so that I could just have an idea of who people are using. We use MailChimp ourselves. Set it up because it was probably just the most well-known one in this email marketing sphere. So we decided to go with that. It's also super easy to use. Paul, you're using Get Response. Okay, cool. And then basically with these different applications, we're going to use this tool called Zapier that's going to connect everything together. But for us, MailChimp, there's a free account up to like, I don't know, 1,000 connections or something like that. We're now paying something like €11. We have a lot of people in our MailChimp, so it's relatively cheap. And especially when it's going to be like the majority of your business, especially right now, will be a communication with the clients, and emailing them on a weekly, a bi-weekly, a monthly basis is something that you should really get into. And even for the future, you should be sending out a quarterly newsletter or something like that. I think it's a really nice touch. I've come across some businesses who have done, this member of the month in their quarterly or monthly newsletter. Then they did their like workout of the month, and they had different things in their quarterly or monthly newsletter, and clients really do appreciate it. They love the community aspect of it as well, and I think that's something that's definitely needed at the moment. So that's the email marketing stuff. Change that. So Airtable, anyone heard of that? Yes or no? Thumbs up again if you've heard of it. No one's heard of it. Okay, Airtable is like an Excel sheet, but it's online. It's cloud-based. It's like Google Sheets if you've ever used Google Sheets, but there's a lot more functionality with Airtable. Again, we'll run through what it looks like and how you can use it essentially yourselves. But again, it's free. It's capped by numbers of entries, but again, we haven't gone across that number of entries yet. Then the last thing, email-wise, so Gmail definitely helps because Google is just such, like, it's in with everybody. It's like anybody who builds any software or anything, even ourselves, when we were doing our reminder emails or confirmation email, we were making sure that people could save it to their Google Calendar. So if you have Gmail, it definitely does really help. If you don't, you'll have to check if Zapier has an integration with your email provider, and it might be a small bit more difficult to kind of get things set up. So the final one is Zapier. That's the final software that you'll need. What Zapier is it's an automation tool. So it basically allows your different apps to talk to each other. So if someone fills out a form, it's going to send you an email. If someone fills out the form, it's going to prompt you to do a buongiorno. If someone fills out the form, it's going to add them to your mailing list on MailChimp or Get Response or whoever. So it's I think this, over the next kind of couple of years, automation tools like Zapier are going to become massive. But it's just something that will save you a lot of time and just really remind you and make sure that everyone is getting a good experience. So what we're going to go through here first is the kind of theory part of it. And I think it'll kind of make it might be, what we might do is just unmute everybody just for a second, just so that we're not going too fast, or so that we can take some questions and stuff as well. I've unmuted everybody. Does anybody have a question up until now?
No.
No?
Oh,
Good. Is everybody with me? Is anyone completely lost?
No. Ryan, one thing I will say, I do need to leave in 15 minutes, just in case you think I'm rude when I'm legging it. I'm just letting you know.
No, you're dead. Yeah, that's no worries. I'll be sending this through anyway after.
Cheers, man.
So basically, I'm going to put everybody on mute again. So, and we'll continue. So basically, if we start here with a client or a potential client, okay, we want to funnel them to somewhere first and foremost. So completely random person comes across you on social media. What's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to check out your profile. Now, I'm not going to go into how your profile needs to look and all that. That's a completely different day session. But definitely around this time, have a look at what your profile looks like and clean it up. Archive photos if you have to archive them in Instagram. And just make sure it's really tidy, really professional looking, and that it's kind of enticing for somebody to click on a link, okay? So that would be the first thing to do, is clean up your socials and websites as well. Also, just kind of side note, the local enterprise office are doing these grants. They're called trading online vouchers. I know a couple of people have mentioned it to me already. We actually availed of it like maybe a year or two ago. Essentially, if you get a web developer or somebody like that and you want to build a website, they're going to give you 90% up to $2,500. So they're going to give you 2,000 whatever hundreds, and you pay whatever's left on that. So you're going to get a website for literally 1/10 of the price. So definitely have a look into that if you're looking at doing websites. But what we'll do is we'll go back to the landing page thing here. So looking at LegitFit, we do a couple of different types of landing pages. We do register your interest, refer a friend, get upgrade or get something for free, or that UK one I showed you there. So they're obviously funneling people down different ways, and they want different things. And that's the kind of first step, is that you're splitting those people. Then when they sign up for yourselves, we want to make sure that we either sign them up as best as possible, or that if they're already signed up, that we're onboarding them as best as possible. So we need to do a couple of different triggers. In LegitFit, we kind of have, let's say this is a brand new person, okay? And they have just registered their interest with us. What we do is, the first thing we do, we get the email saying, John has just registered. We pick up the phone. First thing, always ring them. And it would be the same for yourselves. Like, it would be amazing. Like, you'd be amazed by the amount of people who don't ring and send an email or send a DM or something like that at the very start. The first thing should be, can I get you on the phone? Because by messaging them, you're giving them time to think about things, to make the wrong decision, to not really fully understand what you're actually offering, because they can't tell about who you are. They can't understand your passion. They can't hear about all your services. A thing that we often get is we message them before, and then we ring them up and saying, hey, you kind of dropped off there. Was there something wrong or whatever? And then they would say to us, oh, well, you didn't have this. And we were like, no, we do have that. Let me explain a bit more. And it's just an opportunity to actually run through things fully with a client, instead of going back. Everyone hates emailing back and forth, or messaging back and forth. So it should be the first thing you do is call people. Now, if they don't answer, leave a voicemail and send that email. Okay. If they're not responding to the email after a couple of days, you'll have that Bonjoro set up in your Bonjoro app ready to send. So that's the second trigger. So you're going to send them a video saying, hey, John, I saw that you registered your interest the last day. I tried calling you, but I had no luck. So I just said I'd send you this personalized email in video here. So if you want to kind of learn a bit more, I'd love to hop on a call with you. Here's my calendar below, or click reply on the button here. So again, you can input different things into the Bonjoro app. You can put a calendar link if you need to. So something like Calendly that has a free calendar you can put in there, or you can just simply get them to reply to you. So that would be kind of the second trigger. Then the third and fifth trigger, or the third, fourth, and fifth trigger should always be with MailChimp. So when someone signs up to the registration of interest, it's adding them to the Bonjoro list, as I said. It's also going to add them to your MailChimp account or your email marketing account, okay? So on an email marketing account, has anyone heard of sequences? Okay, so sequences basically is okay, so let's say, for instance, when you join LegitFit, you got an email on day 1, on day 2, on day 4, on day 7, on day 14, on whatever. That's all part of a sequence, okay? So when someone signs up to LegitFit, they're going to get those sequences. That's definitely something that you should look into for your businesses. So you know that on day 1, you're going to call people. On day 2 or 3, you're going to send the Bonjoro. On day 5, so when they fill out the registration form, you can set it up so that 5 days later, they're sent an email from MailChimp, say, with something. It could be something like a calendar link to book you. It could be something that's, oh, I thought you'd be interested in seeing this. and it's like a kind of an example video of what you do, or a like something that where it adds value or more understanding for them, that's going to engage them and prompt them to actually click on your meeting link or book you for some time or reply. Okay. Then you're sending a couple of more emails over that course. Now you can always, once they do sign up, you can take them out of the sequence and move them to a different part of MailChimp or some email marketing tool. But definitely this whole thing is like, you're calling them the first time, you're doing that. That takes, a minute to do. That takes 30 seconds to do. This is going to be automated. Then you do a final reach out. So we always do a final couple of emails. I might share I don't know if I'll show them here on the screen, but I might share them in the messenger of our emails that we send to people, and things that really, really work. We took them from HubSpot, who are like masters in this field. So it's just like a final call and a final email. That's the final kind of point of contact, and everything should be tracked. Okay, so you shouldn't be missing out on any leads, or you shouldn't be forgetting about any leads. Everything should be tracked in this flow. Okay, so do we have any questions about this before we keep going?
No, all good.
All good. Cool. So mute again. Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to set up something very simple. So let me just pull up a few things here. Okay. So we're going to go with yourself, Paul. If you want to message me your Gmail account, so like your login, as well as your password, that would be great. Might have to change your password after this. So just put it in the messenger and make sure that you send it to me only, so you can choose who you send it to. So one thing I might show you is some examples actually of the things that we have set up. So get online. Let's just go into MailChimp first. Okay, so inside MailChimp, and definitely look into this. We have a tutorial video if anyone wants to watch it. That's not made by us, it's by a different company, but it's really, really good. We probably will run a webinar on this in the next couple of weeks if people are interested in just doing MailChimp. But essentially what we can look at here is, or what we can set up is, obviously we can do once-off emails. So if you look at, for instance, the webinar email I sent out last night, that's that there, and you can kind of see and edit it from that point and resend it and stuff like that. So it's pretty easy to kind of make and build. So that was that email that went out last night. But besides just regular campaigns, so campaigns is like just sending something, you also have these different options over here. So like you can check what landing pages you have. Now I have no landing pages on this account. You can do automation, as I mentioned. So these are the sequences. So this is our onboarding series here. I'll show you our old onboarding series maybe, just to kind of run through it. So what happened here is when someone joined Legitfit, they were added to this sequence of emails. Here's the flow of emails. So we had a welcome email first. Number 2 then was, what are your goals? 3 was just a help email. 4 was a client, like adding clients and sessions. 5 was a free ebook. 6 was tell us what you think. We kind of set that up, that workflow. So like it shows you here when they're sent this, 1 day after a subscriber joins your audience. Day 2, day 5, day 21, day 45, and day 47. So you could set up something really simple like this for your own clients, where it just checks in on them once a week, and they're just sent brought into a workflow once a week. And again, you only have to put in effort into this at the start. Like, it takes a couple of hours to set up, but once you have it done, it's going to give you so many touch points and save you so much time in the future with regards to your clients. So again, if you kind of click into these, you'll see what the email looks like. And again, these things are literally drag and drop. They're super simple to use. You just type away in here, and then you just drop a square, or drop a video, or drop whatever wherever you need to. And so it is super easy to navigate, and definitely worth looking into. So that's like the automation from the email perspective. Linktree, I can kind of show you when we're doing the setup there. Okay, so that's kind of the sequence thing. Then the other thing, Airtable, just to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. Pull this up here. Okay, so basically, like, you can set up these different Excel sheets, so that, like, it kind of tracks things. So like, we might have name, surname, business, and you can again automate everything that goes through the type form to be put into this Excel sheet, which is really, really handy. And then you can have like different things where you check people off, which is quite nice as well. So if you wanted to add a checked box, you can do that. So again, what you could use this for is, like, when people sign up with the type form, it adds them to here, and then you could have like a checked field over here, so that you've if we call this, for instance, Bonjoro sent, and then a checkbox, you could have different check boxes for different things, and then just move across and know where the status of your lead is. Because the last thing you need to do is like trying to figure out, okay, what have I sent to this person? How many times have I contacted them? Have I contacted them too much? What day did I contact them on? So it's always good to keep something like this, just a very simple database. What we use in Legit Fit is the thing called HubSpot, but that might be overkill. But again, you could just set up, what you need is kind of like a deals board, just to kind of have an idea of like what the status of each person is. So let me just pull up that. Thanks for sending that on, Paul. I'm going to hide this. Okay. So we're going to go on to an incognito tab here, and we're going to set some things up, just to kind of show you how to go through the process. And definitely worth kind of getting, if you can get some of it done today, then definitely do. It might be a bit difficult, but at least you'll have the video anyway after to watch. So just make sure that you ask me any questions now when I'm running through things, because obviously it'll prompt the any questions that you need to ask right now. Okay, so I'm just going to put that there, move that down so you can just get signed in. So okay. Perfect. So Paul, if you can hit number 36, that would be great. Okay, so I'm just going to close these down. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to set up is the Linktree account. So we don't have an account yet, so we're just going to click on that. We're going to put in your email. So let me get it here. Okay. So username. Do you want it to be Paul Hughes as the username, or do you want it to, what do you want it to be? Templetown SC. We're going to put it as the same password that you sent me, anyway. Perfect. Okay, Templetown SC is already taken. We're going to have to go with 1. Okay. And then password. Perfect. Okay, so again, we're just going to use Templetown. Make sure to use, like, as much as possible, use the business and the brand name as opposed to as your own name, because when they set up the links and the when they set up like the type forms and different things like that, it usually has this / Ryan or / legit fit. So if you set it up as the business name, you're always going to be doing it. You want to have it / legit fit or whatever your business is. Okay. So that is asking me to do a verification. So we're in here, verify email. Okay, that's going to bring that up. Next thing we're going to sign up to is the type form. So sign up. Okay, so we're going to go email. Okay, so we're just going to create a free account. Now, Typeform is going to ask you to obviously verify like that, but they're going to go through this whole onboarding thing with you, which can be quite good, especially for the first time you're going to run through it. But obviously for today, I'm not going to run through their whole onboarding because I just want to show you how to set up the form in the first place. So yeah, this is where they're going to ask you. So when they ask your first name, that's actually where you want to put in the business stuff there, so that the type forms are all linked to your business. Templetown SC, work, and then they're going to do all this like onboarding stuff with you, which is pretty good, and they're trying to direct you in the right way, but we're just going to skip. Okay, so that's that set up. MailChimp, we're not going to set that up because you already have your own email marketing. Let's just pray that Zapier integrates with that company. So we're going to set up Zapier here, and again, Zapier is all about automation. So great, nodes are there. And then finally Bonjoro as well, we're going to set that up. And Airtable. Thank God they are all free because there are a lot of them to kind of get up and running. Okay, so we're going to go, let's see. So everything that I'm going to be setting up here anyway, Paul, will all have the same email and the same password. Okay, so again, when you actually sign up to these guys, they actually send you their own kind of welcome video, which is pretty cool. Now they're down in Australia, so it looks a lot cooler in the background than it does here in Ireland with a lot of fields. But the guy who signed me up had like the Sydney Harbour Bridge in the background. Everything is okay. Let's see, we're missing something. Are we? No, we're good. Okay, so that's Bonjoro done. Again, this is probably, yeah, this is just another onboarding thing. So we're not going to create a campaign, but you can actually like use this so that you can do email marketing and different workflows as well, which is pretty handy. So do have a look through this app and all it can do. So you could send out like a group email video to everybody, which is quite nice. So again, they're doing an onboarding thing here. And I'm just going to skip the tour. It's pretty self-explanatory, Zapier. Out of all the apps, really, that's probably the easiest to use. Okay. Again, another one here. Okay. So the first thing we're going to start with is the link tree. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on to Templetown S. Let's go to the first one, we need to get some kind of branding elements. Okay. So I'm going to Google Templetown SC. Hopefully there's some, this would be the right one here, Paul. Do you want to give me a thumbs up? Yeah, cool. Perfect. So just make sure that the image that you're going to be using across things is going to be a really good quality image. I absolutely hate when people have these blurry images that were screenshots of screenshots of screenshots. So just make sure it's a really good quality image first and foremost. Okay, so I've saved that here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new link. We're going to change the appearance. So the appearance kind of has to go with the branding. So this would probably be the best. Let me just upload the avatar. So we're going to upload the logo here first and foremost. We have it. There we go. Okay, so that's quite big. Okay, so if your logo is too big, like it's going to end up like this, and you don't want to have it like that. If your logo is too big, fastest thing to do, just go onto PowerPoint and just drop it and zoom out from it a bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go on to what we use, which is Sketch. It's kind of like a glorified PowerPoint, and we're going to drop the logo onto a background so that we can do a bit more. So get that. Okay, so we're just going to drop the logo on here. Okay, and again, we're just going to take a photo, a screenshot of that. So that it's going to fit in the, and make sure it's in the middle as well as much as possible. Okay. So upload avatar, take 2. And we're going to screenshot. Here we go. Okay, so a lot better that time. Nearly got it bang on. So just save, upload, and then you can choose. So that's your profile picture for the link tree. Then you can choose what your background is going to be. So for yourself, like you can choose all these different ones. So, and you can change this later. For now, I'm just going to set it as this because it kind of goes in with the kind of gray that you have there. So that's the appearance. You probably don't have to worry about the settings of the Pro. This is probably the important link that you need to kind of obviously put in your bio on Instagram and stuff like that. So we're going to start adding a couple of different links here in a second. But for now, we're just going to move on to the next app. So let me hide this again. Okay. So what we're going to move on to is Typeform. Okay. We have that over here. Okay, so we're going to start from scratch. You can choose a template that they have, but I just like starting from scratch because it's just easier. We're going to call this, usually you're going to have 1 or 3 registration forms. So I'm just going to call this registration form. You might have a referral form as well. And again, if you look on our bio on Instagram or you click the learn more button on Facebook, you'll see our refer a friend program that we have and how we can attract that. And again, it's just through a simple type form. So this is going to be a lead gen form and it's for lead generation. Okay, so we're going to add our first question. It's always going to be a welcome screen for the first thing. We're going to add an image. The image is always going to be a brand icon. So if we upload the photo that we saved earlier, Might do the, upload that one. Okay, so that saves that there. Then we want to change the colors here to kind of go with the brand itself. So we're going to go into the design, over to customize, question colors. So buttons first and foremost, we're going to change to that kind of orange that you have there. So let's go across here. Okay, it needs to be a bit brighter than that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we have, that's what the buttons are going to be. The background, we're just going to keep it a plain white. The answers, so we're going to have the answers in that orange as well. So I want the same color as here, so I'm just going to copy this hexadecimal color here. Click on answers, change that. And then for the questions, we're just going to keep it that dark black there. Okay, so save this as a new theme. Okay, and we're going to go back to the builder. Okay, so with the builder, we're going to welcome the client. So welcome to Temple. And then you can say, for instance, again, make it as enticing as possible. So like you could say, for instance, please click below to get free trial, or it could be please click below to get free consult, whatever you want to kind of set up. I think for yourself, Paul, what might be a good one is register for free consult, maybe, or something like that. So register, and again, you can change this yourself later, for free consults. Okay, so we're gonna put this as non-bold. Or maybe we'll just say, click start for free consult, okay? And then they're going to click that start button, okay? So now we're going to add a couple of questions to qualify the person. I'm going to use a kind of pre-used template that I've had and used before, and I think it's quite good. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the first question. First question is always going to be the name, okay? So we want to say, hey there, what's your first name? They're going to answer then. We want to require this as well, because we need to get their name. Then we're going to ask their second name. And something really cool that this does is that it's very conversational, as I mentioned. So if you go perfect at, and then the answer to the first question is this. So it will go perfect, Ryan, and your last name. Okay. Again, require this. And then we're going to move on to a multiple choice. So you want to kind of grab as much information here as possible so that you can use it in the future. So one thing here that's really beneficial that I tell everybody to do is to ask a very simple question. How did they hear about us? You know then where you're going to spend your money. So there's no point of running Instagram ads if 90% of your clients who have come to you have heard through Facebook. There's no point in doing ads at all if 90% are saying, I heard through a friend. In that case, you should really work on your referral program. So this will just give you a good idea of where you should be spending money to get more leads. Okay, so we're going to put in Facebook, Instagram, Google, through a friend, any other suggestions? I think that's Facebook, Instagram, Google, through a friend, maybe offline marketing. So that could be like, you know, any radio or any flyers or something like that. So again, require this so that they have to answer this. Then you want to go into, I suppose, things that are going to help you, like onboard the client in the sense of terms and conditions and stuff. So what I'm going to put in here is just a yes, no field. So I'm going to go, if you have, Paul, if you have any like terms and conditions or anything like that, just if you could send them through to me, ryan@legitfit.com, when you get a chance, and I'll be able to kind of fix this up then after. So do you have any medical conditions? Might be a question that you want to kind of get out of the way. Again, require that, and at least you have it stored then on a database instead of doing a form. Then we might do terms and conditions, yes, no answer. So again, you can show them your terms and conditions and get them to accept at this point. So please read our terms and conditions and click yes if you accept. Again, requiring that. And we'll actually be able to put the terms and conditions as a link here so that they can click the terms and conditions, read them, come back, and then accept. And again, you have that stored then on your own database. So after terms and conditions, it's about figuring out a bit more about this client, okay? So we're gonna we can add a total of 10 questions for free. So we're gonna do a couple of fitness related questions. So let's go with how would you rate your fitness? Because again, you're not selling, if someone is very fit and active and used to training, they're probably not gonna want a certain type of pitch from yourself, and they want results. Whereas if someone's very uncomfortable training and brand new and stuff like that, they just want to trust you. They want to ensure that everything is going to go run smoothly, that there, you know, that there isn't like loads of people in the class maybe watching them. Maybe that's their concern. So always good to kind of figure out where they are at their own level, you know. So again, we're going to require that. And the next question we're going to do is we're going to figure out a bit more about the person. So we're going to ask them about their goals. Now, I'm not going to require this because sometimes this can turn people off and they're just like, oh, I'm not going to fill out this whole thing. But it's definitely interesting to be able to get. So we're going to go, okay, great. And again, we're going to talk to them. So we're going to say their first name. Okay, great, John. Tell me about some of your short-term and long-term goals. Okay, so again, you're going to get information here so that when you get on that call the very first time with that person, you know what you're selling them. You're not selling them a 10 class pass. You're selling them, you know, this kind of program that we're going to do week on week, that we're going to get you towards your goal essentially. So again, required if you want, you don't have to though. Moving on to the last couple of questions. So we need to get their email address. So there's a field specifically for email here. And we're going to say, okay, and always ask these questions at the end. Reason being is people will, there was a study on the order of questions and how powerful that can be. And if you ask an email as the very first question or a phone number, people are just going to drop off the sheet and they're not going to answer it. Whereas if you ask it at the end, because they've gone through the effort of ticking boxes and reading and filling this out and putting in their rating and all that kind of stuff, people are like, and you've done this yourself when you're on something, you're just like, oh, fuck it, go on, take my email. I've gone this far, I might as well go a bit further. So always ask that question at the end. You're going to require it. You're going to put in the description. The description can be whatever. You know, we need this to add you to our client management system. We need this to show you our deals and offers that we have, or something like that. Or just like tell them that they're not going to be spammed, and that like everything is GDPR compliant. Once they're accepting, if they want to be removed, they can be removed. Okay, so that's your email. And then finally, last one is the most personal piece of data that people have, and that is their mobile number. Okay, so we're going to require this. We're going to put in Ireland. Make sure you choose Ireland over here so it has the prefix. And we're going to say, and finally, what's your number? And we're going to say their name again. Again, just personalizing it a bit more. Okay. So once you've that done, you can put as the final page is just a statement. So again, thanks for registering. Thanks for registering. You'll be hearing from us shortly. Okay, it's just something simple like that. Now you can test all of this if you go onto the right-hand side. If you go all the way to the top, I would suggest that you test everything multiple times at the very start, because if you make a mistake here, obviously it's going to lose you so many leads down the road. So it's just worth getting yourself to test, a brother or sister or mother, whoever, to test it before you go live with things. Okay, so this is how it starts. Welcome to Town S&C. Click start for free consult. Okay, so we're going to go through it. Ryan, last name, O'Neill. How did you hear about us? Again, they can click letters here, which is really handy. So A, medical conditions, N, accept terms and conditions, yes. Fitness level, 7. I'm really lying there. It's more 2. Okay, Ryan, tell me about some of your long-term goals. All kinds of gains. That's what I'm looking for. And then what email address can we reach you at? I'm putting that in, ryan@ryan.com. Finally, what's my number? 087 7777777. Okay. Thanks for registering. You'll be hearing from us shortly. They submit that, and then we're going to set up the triggers now to automate all that to somewhere. Okay. So we have it created. Next thing we need to do is just publish. Make sure you publish it up here. Super important that you click that publish button. Loads of people don't. I haven't sometimes when I was setting up people. You can really easily miss it. Then we want to connect it. So we're going to connect it to a Google Sheet, so that this Google Sheet is going to be like your database, essentially. It's just a sheet that you can access at any stage, and that has the list of all the people who have accepted their terms and conditions, or who've accepted whatever. So Paul, if you want to hit 26 there. Excellent. So we're going to allow that to create a Google Sheet. We're going to create a new sheet. Registration form. Okay. Create sheet. Activate integration. Okay. So that now is going to create a spreadsheet in the background. If you click on that, or if you go through your Google Sheets, you'll see that there's all your questions, all your answers. Then will fill in this row here. So it's pretty handy to have that. So now that's connected with Google. We're going to go over here to the share button. Okay, so you can see this is the link that they have for your type form. And then this is your meta preview. Your meta preview is basically when you share something on social media, you always get a preview of things. So like YouTube, you get a preview of the YouTube video or whatever it might be. So we're going to edit this to make it more personalized to yourself. So we're going to say the content is going to be register for free consult. Okay, the meta image is going to be that image that we took a screenshot of. Where is that? Hopefully this will be an okay size. Okay, so that's going to preview then, which is pretty handy. So if we go over to, just to show you what that looks like. See if I have any other tabs. We'll show you at the end. So we have, that's the form that we're going to be sharing. And then results. You can see the results from here as well, but ideally what I like to do is once I have something set up, there's only one place I'm going to. So for yourself, you don't want to be logging into Typeform every time to check who's signed up. That's why I have like HubSpot or Airtable or something like that. So, okay, so this is the form that people are going to fill out. We're going to go over to Linktree now. We're going to add that in here. So we're going to put it as register for free consult. Okay. So when people click on the link, they're going to be an option is going to be to go to here. We're also going to put in an option. Obviously, the majority would know this anyway, but one thing that we're building at LegitFit is a booking API so that people can book straight from your social media. But right now that's not something that we currently have. We're hoping to release it within the next month, ideally, all going well with Zoom. But another option to do here is that you start directing people who are already members to your timetable. Okay, so book in members only. Okay, so anyone who's like already signed up or added to you from LegitFit, they'll also have that other option where they can just click to book in when they're a member or register for free consult. And again, you can put that as non-member, something like that, you know, so that you're clearly segregating people on here. Now, any other kind of links that you would put in there, Paul? Like, do you have maybe a Facebook group, or again, send me any links here in the chat window, and I can add that to it. So any Facebook groups or videos on YouTube or websites or anything like that. So we have the website here. We might just take this and we might put this. And again, this Linktree link could be, so this link here could be something that you put on your website as well, where it's like learn more or sign in, and it just directs them to either LegitFit or to your registration form. So we're gonna put that link there, website. Okay, and always order it in priority. So the priority number 1 is getting them registered straight away. Priority number 2 then is to, for non-members, that they can learn a bit more about your business. And then priority number 3 is obviously when people are used to booking in, they'll be used to coming to here. So they don't have to be the first. They don't have to be the first thing that's visible, because they know that it's coming here. It's why you see that on any website they always have the sign up button up here, and then like login is hidden or it's down low or it's somewhere, because they know that people are used to logging in. Whereas for signing up or registering, always make that the priority for people. Okay, so if you want to have a quick look at that now, guys, I'm going to send this to you in the chat. 1 second now. Okay, so just have a click off that, have a look at it, and I'm just going to set up a few small things here for okay, so we have that. A few more links here. So again, you can access this yourself later, all and change things around. Okay, I'm just going to name them whatever for now. This could be like directing people to the Facebook group as well, or your paid Facebook group if people have set those up. Join our 30-day challenge. So again, the most important is the register. Then if you want to funnel them to maybe the 30-day challenge or the fat loss challenge, or whatever it is, then the website, and then finally book in. So but don't crowd it too much. If you're going to 10, 20 links, you're going to lose people. You shouldn't be giving people a certain amount of options to actually choose from. So your main options should always be here. So I know you sent me through a couple there on your website, so you can turn ones on and turn ones off as well if you want. And so it's pretty handy to kind of use that. So any questions with regards to the link that I sent you or with regards to this part yet? Everybody's off mute, so I'll hear a resounding no maybe.
Looks good.
Oh, all good.
All good. Okay, cool. Excellent. Okay, so mute everybody again. You're so quiet that I could probably keep you all off mute. And so what we'll do is we have Linktree now. That's Linktree set up. Again, you can do your different forms here to kind of funnel people in those different ways. We have the first type form set up, but again, if you want to kind of set up some more, Paul, or anybody else who's going to set this up, you just go into the workspace and just click new form, and then that'll just add that form in for you. So the next thing that we're going to do, if we go back to our board here, so we have Linktree done, Typeform set up. Okay, so now it's about the automation, I believe. So we want to trigger all these different things. So if we go over to close this down, I think we're pretty much done with this as well. We're done with the registration form. So the next thing we're going to go on to is Zapier. And we're going to set up the automation. So I believe free plan, again, guys, 5 zaps. But you can, like, the cool thing is that you can pick the 5 zaps that you want and turn ones on and turn ones off. Just be careful with the Typeform. It is a case of you create 3, and it doesn't matter if you delete one. It's just tough luck, essentially. Okay, so in Zapier, we want to make a zap. Okay, and again, a zap is just a automated way that one app talks to another app. Okay, so I'm going to close this and this. Okay, so just going to bring this here. Okay, so the first zap that we want to do is we want to, when someone fills out Typeform, okay, we want to add them somewhere else. So we're going to go, when there's a new entry in Typeform, I'm going to ask you to sign in. Okay. Continue. Okay. So it's going to, what it's going to do, it's going to knock on the door, they call it, and check what forms you have. So I have the registration form set up, so it knows that. I press continue. Now it's going to find some data, so we're going to test and continue. So whatever data is in there, they're going to try and spit it out so that you can kind of see how it would look from a test point of view. Okay, so when someone fills it in a Typeform, the first thing we want to do is we want to send you an email. Okay, just saying this person has registered, so it notifies you straight away. Okay, so Gmail, send email. I'm going to ask you to sign into Gmail. Please God, it's not going to be another number. It isn't. Okay, good. So it signs me into your Gmail there. Now we're going to customize email. So who do we want to send it to? We want to send it to your own email, okay? Because we want to notify you. Okay. We don't need to CC anybody, but if you want, you can. Like, for instance, at LegitFit, we might have Ryan CC Ian. We're going to choose the from. So the from is actually going to be from yourself. That's the only option they give you there. And it kind of helps because it makes it very, very obvious that this is a registration. So it doesn't get lost in your email. Okay, so from name, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the responses. So these are all the form responses here. So, hey there, what's your first name? Lorem ipsum dollar, that's the response. Okay, so the from name is going to be the actual name that the person fills out, which is pretty handy. So the reply to then, so if you click reply on the email, which you're not going to do because you're going to call them, but if you were to click reply on the email, we want to send it to their email. So look for the question with the email. There it is. You can tell by the @example.com at the end. The subject, make it very obvious. New client registration. And again, just as obvious as possible, because I've been into setting this up with some people and they have thousands upon thousands of emails. And definitely things can get lost in that sea. So the body then, so we want it to be plain and we want it to be just kind of telling me what I need to do. Okay, so for instance, hey Paul, this client just registered their interest. Please call them and add them. For instance. Okay, so we're gonna then just separate that, and underneath that, so this is the email text in the body. So underneath that, we're gonna put the form responses. So that's everything. So it's like, John, here's his number, here's his email. all that information, okay? Signature, don't worry about it. Label, mailbox. You can like segue it to like, if you had a mailbox that was called new clients or registrations, you can segue it into that to just keep on top of things, but you don't have to. So we're going to press continue here. We're going to test and continue. Hopefully this will pass. And then we're going to turn the Zap on. Okay. So that's our first Zap done. Okay, which is good. We're going to rename it if we can as well. We don't have anywhere where they have. Okay, here we go. So we're going to call that register to email. Okay. So the next one we're going to do is that when someone fills out the same Bonjoro, again, it's a new entry. It's the same type form account. It's the registration form. Test and continue. We're going to then add that to Bonjoro. Okay, so it's going to create a task for you in Bonjoro then. Okay, so that you can send that personalized email thing. So I'm actually going to unmute you so that you can ask questions on the go. So that, so Bonjoro, yeah, so it knows the Bonjoro account's connected because of Google. So customized task, the email address of your user or your customer. So what the email response is, that's here. Again, just a question that they asked. First name of the person, it's going to be in the responses. Okay, so where are we? Hey there, what's your first name? Last name of the person. First name. Last name, there we go. Campaign, we don't have any campaigns set up in Bonjoro, so we're just going to add it to task list. And again, we're going to go new client registration. Okay, and choose number of custom attributes. Give context to your Bonjoro task. I don't think we need that. We'll press continue there. Press continue. Okay, and turn that on. Okay, so when someone fills out the form, that then is going to automate a Bonjoro task in here so that it reminds you to send a video to that person. And again, if you start using anything from today, I think Bonjoro is going to be way ahead of everybody else. And it's definitely worth looking at doing. So you can see here, this is what's been sent from Zapier. So it's in my task list. So it has like, that would be Ryan O'Neill, new client registration. Here's their email. You just go to record now. No, I don't know if it's going to allow me to record here. Oh, my snap camera. So bear with me. So snap camera. I'm just going to open my camera here. Sorry, now. Okay, so I can record my video then and say, hey, welcome to, or thanks for registering, and like have a look at the form that they filled out so that you know it's a bit more personal. So I just saw you registered, you're from Cork, you're from blah, blah, blah. And then just click send once you've done that. So once you record it and then send it, pick your thumbnail, press next. So it's going to say hi first name, so it's going to insert their first name there. I recorded a message for you, check it out. And you can add some more stuff here. So again, for yourself, Paul, we might leave this for the time being and just jump on our own call just quickly after to set this up a bit better. But you could say like, here's a link to my calendar. And again, if you're using something very, that does like scheduling for free and very fast, like Calendly, or what we use is, Calendly is pretty simple. Ian uses that. I use HubSpot. Yeah, so like you just go and you can paste that in there, so that they can book in a time with you. So there's less back and forth. They know when you're available, and it's pretty handy like that. So make sure you do that in the first kind of 7 days, because after the 7 days trial or whatever it is, they don't allow you to do that after. You'll have to go to the paid version. Okay, so we have that one set up anyway. That's Typeform to Bonjoro. Okay. Bonjoro. Okay. Couple of final ones. So next app is going to be, goes on a couple of things here. So it's always going to be from the Typeform. Let's see what we have over here. So Typeform to MailChimp would be kind of the next one. Let's see if you have, what was it called? It's Get Response, is it? Okay. Let's see if they have Get Response. Oh, they do. Nice. Cool. So we can set that up as well. So basically, with Get Response or MailChimp or whatever email marketing tool you're using, when they're going to sign up to that Typeform, it's going to actually add them into, so if they register here, it's then going to add them into your email marketing list. And as I said, set up a sequence. We hopefully will be doing a tutorial on MailChimp and how to use that. I can't advise you on what you're on Get Response, but it'll allow you then to kind of do the email marketing then a bit more seamlessly from the perspective of when they come on board, that they're getting a message, especially in the first couple of weeks. Every week for the first 4 weeks, they're getting a hey, how are you? Just checking in to see how you're getting on. And that could actually even include like a Typeform where it's like a check-in form, and it could be like, how are you feeling this week, and have a rating, and you could then check, you could set that up so that it emails you and you know how people are getting on without having to do the outreach manually to them. Does that make sense, guys? So again, that's just something to look at. It would be a very similar form. It would just be called like, your check-in form. It would be first name, last name. You wouldn't need their email. It could be just a scale, an opinion scale like this, saying, how are you feeling this week? And then if they put in like 8 to 10, you're okay. If they're putting in anywhere below 6, you kind of have to have a look in or give them a call. So it's a nice way to be able to automate, because obviously when you go to scale, you can't ring everybody. So you need to have something where you can check in on the people who need the checking in, as opposed to checking in on everybody. And then you could have like, how's your week been? They could have an input field there. Anything else you want to add, and then just submit. So that's another really handy form that you can do for your customers. And that's kind of good for them. Like, even if you had that form set up, you could send out a MailChimp email every Sunday or every Saturday with the same thing, or weekly check-in, guys. Just click the button there and tell me how you're getting on. And it definitely would be something that would be really good for our customers. So just going back, because I'm conscious of time here and how we're doing with time. And I just want to kind of have a look through these things here. So the softwares that we've set up Linktree, we've set up Typeform, we've set up Bonjoro. We went through the input and how important that is as well, the first 7 days. MailChimp, as I said, we'll be doing on a different day. But if you haven't gone to email marketing yet, it's I know people say emails are dead, but like remarketing, keeping people aware of your business is hugely beneficial, because it might be the right time for them right now, but maybe down the road it will be. So yeah, get something, MailChimp, Get Response, something like that, and make sure it integrates with Zapier if you can. Airtable. So the other thing that we're going to do with Zapier, and I'll probably do it after the call, would be to create a Zap with Airtable. So for instance, when a person fills out that form, it adds them to Airtable. And again, the benefit behind Airtable would be that you would have them in a, for instance, a sales CRM. This might be a good example of one. So they're going to bring you through all this. Yeah. So you'd have them in a list like this where you can qualify them Like they have all these really good templates that you can use, and you can kind of change them yourself and customize them. So definitely worth having something like that if you're not using a CRM already. So that is Airtable. Gmail, as I mentioned, if you're not Gmail, I don't think Zapier works with like Yahoo or something like that. But again, you only need the Gmail to set up the account. You can always redirect the emails then and CC the Yahoo or whatever you're using. So that would be handy there. Then obviously the call is the final trigger, and that could be you could set that up as a reminder, again, through Zapier. I know with Zapier, you can kind of set up reminders and different things like that. So maybe it reminds you after 14 days, or maybe it adds it to something else after 14 days, or else you have it tracked on your Airtable here. And then you're giving the person the call the last 2 times before reaching out. Just with regards, I mentioned that I'd send you the email. So this is the last thing I'm going to do. So does anybody have any questions first and foremost?
My music is playing. No, sorry.
You need a question. Bring it on.
My 1-year-old probably could. No, I don't. All right, sorry, I didn't realize I'm muted.
No, you're okay. You're okay. Throw yourself on mute there if you want, for it, all right? Unless you have a question. Okay, no question. Thumbs up. Okay, cool. Anybody else have any questions with regards to what we set up today? No. I think that's a resounding no. Everybody seems to be okay. Now I know it can be a lot there to kind of take in, because there is a lot to that that whole process. But when you have it set up the very first time, it will take a couple of hours. Give us a shout if you get stuck at any point. But once you have it set up, you don't have to go near it again. Like I set this up for ourselves probably 7-8 months ago, and we still use it, and we will be using it for the next for the unforeseeable future. If like what we're actually going to be probably doing is investing in it more to create more automation. So like getting the next tier of Zapier, getting the next tier of Typeform, because we really do like those products, and we want to kind of commit to them because they're gaining value for us. So I'm sure they'll gain value for you as well. Just in regard to the template emails, then the last emails that we send on to people, I'm going to send them on through the chat window. Now the chat window doesn't save, so if you want those emails, you need to copy and paste them now whilst we're on the call, okay? Okay. So the first one. Okay. Okay, so this is an example of one that we send. I'm going to, obviously you put in the contact name. It's going to be slightly different for yourselves, but it'll all be off the basis of what they fill out in the email. So just have some kind of structured template that you send out to people when they register. And that explains a bit more about your business, okay? The schedule a call here then is linked to my calendar. So again, set up a separate calendar just for consults and leave like hours in your window open. So like if you don't have any sessions or classes from 1 to 3 or whatever, put that time in for consults and just put that into your calendar, and they'll only be able to book those hours. Now that's just a kind of introductory email. We have like loads of different types of emails. The best, so competitor, let's see. Okay, so we always have a follow-up email that has like some different type of information about what we do or how we help people. So again, just very like the first email I sent you, and just have a look at creating maybe 5 templates that do you, 5 different templates that you're just going to use on an ongoing basis, and you just replace the name, and really figure out which ones work. The one I'm going to send you next is probably the best email that we have, okay? So I'm going to send that again through the chat. This usually, so the subject line as well is this. Okay, so this usually gets 9 out of 10 people to respond to us, who we think are just gone and that they've no interest. We've tried to call them 10 times, and we've sent them a buongiorno. We reached out to them on Instagram, reached out to them on Facebook. We've done everything. They're gone. And this email literally gets people responding every time, and it's just a very quick, sorry, yeah, I am busy, you're right, can we do something next week or something, or somewhere else, and it just gets them chatting. And I think that the subject line really helps with that as well. So yeah, again, spend this time wisely. We have a lot more time to work on the business as opposed to in the business, as I mentioned. And if you need any support or help from ourselves, whether it's to do with that sign up flow, whether it's to do with anything else that you're looking at, email templates, that kind of stuff. If you want to use us as soundboards, saying, hey Ryan, just created this email template, let me know what you think. Send it through to us, and we'll send you, whether it's WhatsApp or email, we'll send you a response anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the recorder now. So again, if you just look at the screen, any questions about anything that's on it?
No, looks all good.
Good, cool. So what I'm going to do, stop